You just made a blood libel against the Jewish state. We can't keep doing this. Over 2 nights. I am asking you, what is your story? So I asked for a story.
This tactic of when anybody brings up anything that Israel is doing is wrong, you get to just scream the Bible and he says it's wrong. It is not a blood libel to talk about the amounts of death and the tons of explosives that have been dropped on the civilians of Palestine. Okay, that is not a blood libel against Jewish people. Essentially debate anymore. I get to call everybody a person who is accusing me of blood libel. Truly, what is happening right now is that the blood of Palestinians is being shed. That is a libel against Jews. A fact and a reality against Bibi Netanyahu and this government, which has gone extreme in their response to October 7th.
I had to put that on knock 30. That was just a cacophony of noise, child. This is wild. Way 808 with a dollar sign. I've been trying to get this out for the past 4 days, but it's other stories that I'm interested in that's more interesting than this. I'm just going to do bullet points now because I done got all the emotionalism out. And I dare not get as emotional as these two. You know, Candace is emotionally on the inside, and Smoothie is who he is. So anyway, the one thing that I want to get out here, and I'm serious about this, is his first line, his opening statement was that Black people and Jews have a spiritual promise. And he failed to expound on what that spiritual promise is. And all I want to know is, does that spiritual promise equate to dollar signs? Does it equate to generational wealth? I'm asking for myself, apparently, because I don't, nobody takes them seriously in the Black community. And to tell you the truth, Black people are so fascinated with, sports right now and other illicit activities outside of sports. They're not even learned, and they don't care because in our communities, as Candace so astutely put it, we're a bunch of crybabies, and I agree. A broken clock is right twice a day. Moving forward, Smoothie criticized Candace for her Black Lives Matter stunts, criticized Candace's followers, who he claimed doxed him by sending a message in the form of a pizza to his home. He, on the Piers Morgan show, made it clear for the very first time that he has called the FBI in on Candace because he doesn't feel safe. Moving forward, I want to let you know this debate was an hour long. I watched it 4 days ago, and I wanted to make sure I got the bullet points down pat because even if you would have watched 15 minutes of it, you would see who's in the wrong here. I kind of get what people are saying. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. If he is an example of that definition or that statement, I don't know who isn't. I, I what he kept ramming on for the entire hour in between giving history lessons all the way back to the Torah is that Candace needed to apologize to him on the Pierce Morgan show for calling him a piece of filth and a quote, unholy rabbi, unquote, because as he expounded, Candace doesn't know what it takes to be a rabbi. Mm, mm, mm. So how could she call him unholy when she doesn't know all the steps? Oh, he went on to state that the black community hates her, and ad hominem himself started bidding on Candace, calling her Clandis and Candace Ovens. Yo, I'm like, I have never heard anybody call. I've never heard anybody call it. He was just making up shit on the fly. It was just. Then he attacked Candace's family, saying that her father-in-law, Lord Michael Farmer, dissed her after a family vacation, stating that he himself received, apparently, even though it was an open letter, but he felt like Lord Michael Farmer wrote this letter to Shmuley personally, a love letter it was, to Shmuley, pledging his allegiance with Shmuley's followers. Like, come on. He was just really grasping for straws, telling her on air, Candace, that her family hates her now. Basically, because you're not on my side, Candace. Screaming at the top of his lungs. Now we know if by shared history Shmuley means our emotionalism, he's right. We talk with our hands, of which our dear Candace has mastered, hasn't she? She sits there stone faced like a black Joan Crawford, and she lets her eyes do all the talking, like Tyra Banks says. hmm She took the Tyra Banks class of smizing and deleting them with your eyes, you know. She is, let me tell you something, on the debate team, you let her go last. Wrap it up. It's over with her. Because she knows how to control her emotionalism, but she lets it come through in her words. And Shmuley admires that about her because, in a way, once again, he stereotypically said that she's using her eloquence of words to hurt people. Because most black people just aren't eloquent with their words. Ad hominem. Moving forward, he stated that Candace stated that, quote, she believed the Nazis were, quote, one of the good guys, unquote. Candace obviously had receipts, didn't she? She had her laptop. It wasn't her fault that he didn't come prepared. He knew that she was going to be recording from her home since she claims that he's trying to delete her. Like they going back and forth. They both broken clocks, right? Twice a day. Not him. When I'm thinking of two people, two individuals who, which is one of the reasons why I don't like Candace, is her allegiance with Kanye at one point with that White Lives Matter t-shirt debacle. I didn't like her response, and I didn't like her defense of him when he started going off the rails, tweeting in the middle of the night like Trump, all of these racing thoughts that he had. And just because you're an associate with him or whatever in Hollywood, I just don't see why she took up for him in that situation. She should have just stepped aside like everybody else and talked to him off air if you're really his friend. Like, I understand there are no friends in Hollywood, they're all associates of money only. And it's not lost to me that the only reason why Candace has a platform is because she's white adjacent. They never let us have a full black mouthpiece anymore in this generation. If they're not biracial, they have to be married to a white person. That's the only way they can stand somebody like her. Even if she doesn't fit the stereotypical black girl stereotypes, because she doesn't. If she was lighter skinned, she would really be in there, honey. She'd be like Kamala right now. I'm telling you. And under her comment section, since she started her own little network, and she always had one, but I just started watching it. I didn't even know it existed because I don't like her. But her and Kanye are broken clocks that are right twice a day. His little racing thought outburst that he had outside of his Tahoe was his reality. And what happened after that was it opened the floodgates for all of them to come forward to debunk what everyone could obviously see if you stay and you watch the credits. See, these people don't watch the credits at the end of any movie or sitcom. You know what I mean? It's not I don't have to watch back to back episodes of CSI Philadelphia to crack the case. But what happened was, just as Candace astutely remarked to Shmuley, religious is basically as religious does. Religious is as religious does. You can't make me misalign myself already with the black community because I stand 10 toes to concrete. She said on what I said about Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and the fugaziness of it all. I told them, she stated, that it was a shell operation ran by a catfisher who claimed to be biracial, but we find out that he was actually Rachel Dolezal, little brother. I mean, make it make sense. I got my own little history on how they tried to recruit me, and I had to turn them down several times. I'm not interested because the individual I felt like they propped up, however wrong it went down, was a career criminal. And the little boy who we should have been marching in the street for and should have been changing laws for is Trayvon Martin and Brashear Gray and Tiana Taylor and Sandra Bland. I'm just saying. The individual that they propped up, it was all wrong. But understandably, the reason why they did was because that was, in their mind, the first deletion that they've seen on camera. The first one that anybody of my age can remember is Rodney King getting beat to the white meat, almost dead. And then what? It's been how many decades since Rodney King? We've seen traffic stops. We've seen fist fights between cops and the perps and vice versa. But when did we start seeing deletions? When who the boy that got stopped with his girlfriend and his baby in the back seat? Yeah, that was before George Floyd. But the video got contested. Remember, it was all choppy. This incident with George Floyd was a continuous stream from different angles, a clear cut. It wasn't nobody standing in front of nobody. Yeah, I mean, the camera could zoom right in on what was happening, and it didn't stop until it was over. A pure snuff film. So yeah, I get Shmuley's indignation because she didn't cry and beat the hot streets that summer with picket signs and get beat upside the head with a billy club and all of this like a Selma, Alabama. But I'm with Candace, the broken clock. That's right twice a day. Yeah, I myself said no. Black Lives Matter, it's a no. I did a video on it. Way back in the day, I ain't with it. No. And I said way back then, black people can't come together to put together a popsicle stand on an average day. But we gonna come together and beat the hot streets for Pookie? Huh? How about when they tore up the city when the boy, who was the boy that was jostled around in the police cruiser, the van? It'll come to me. What was his name? Freddie Gray is his name. Moving forward, Candace said that the rabbi is unhinged, and he went off on an unhinged rant to prove her right. Um, eh, Shmuley stated that Candace should rightfully be on his side because she's on the side of Jesus, who's a Jew. So how, Shmuley says, can Candace hate his sect of people and love Jesus? She's a hypocrite, right? Candace shot back, saying that Shmuley follows another rabbi by the name of Schneerson, who teaches his flock that he's the second coming of our Lord and Savior, our Christ. Okay. Shmuley is a mentee of said Schneerson, who claims to be a Jewish fundamentalist. Hmm. Shmuley angrily called Candace an anti-Semite. You know we did. And Candace said she's against supremacism of all types, which is why she came against Black Lives Matter so hard too. Mm. Candace said that Shmuley is a radical Zionist and that he's obsessed with the body parts of unfortunate victims. Yeah, yeah, or I may have said that was my thoughts because I found it quite telling that in his opening statement towards Candace, he told her that she had a fascination with sex. And then Candace said, but didn't you say that your sect has a unhealthy porn hub addiction? He never refuted it. He just stared blankly into the screen. Like, whenever she said something that really hit home, he did not have cliff notes. He couldn't think off the dome. He just stared blankly into the screen. And then he snapped and started talking about something else. Deflection, because she got him. And he didn't know what to say. He didn't have an answer for it, and he didn't want to answer it. Just like on his apparent, like Lord Jamar-esque type tour of the metaverse. Remember, Lord Jamar has been on COINTELPRO, Vlad TV 356 times before they fell out. Remember that? And remember, every time Lord Jamar showed up on COINTELPRO Vlad TV, 200 niggas got locked up in the hood. So I equate his round of the YouTube metaverse and every news media that will have him that can stand his ranting for longer than, a minute. I find it quite telling that he's been on Pierce 11 times battling different individuals who he claims are anti-Semitic. One one individual who was an Arab handed him his ass last week. Oh, I'm gonna do a little something on that real quick on what my thoughts are on the breakdown on that debate. I like debating. I was on the debate team for a short time in high school. Yeah, I like stuff like this. It's politics mixed in with a little, a twist of barbs and snapbacks and yeah, I mean, but it's word for word. Like, hey, you said something, now I'ma say something. That's just how it is. She says she stands 10 toes to the concrete. She's not apologizing for calling him an unholy rabbi because of the weirdo shit that we see him in over the years that has been documented. Oh, and this is what I wanted to say. In going traveling the universe, telling his tales of woes, Shmuley tried to battle broken clock right twice a day, Alex Jones. And Alex is a smartass. And it was nothing but barbs. I think it's deleted now because I can't find anything but shorts of it. I can't find the whole video where Alex said, "Can I call you Rabbi Butt Plug?" And Shmuley found that extremely hilarious. And then once again, he tries to deflect and make it seem like the host is the one that's concerned overly with sex. Yet Alex astutely said, "How can you call yourself a rabbi and you're in Hollywood?" How? And you have a sex toy shop. Is it kosher dildos? No, he didn't. He said, "Do you?" He said in that video when you were at your niece's birthday party for children under the age of 10 and you had that dildo on your nose, was it kosher? Yo! And in the video, if you've seen it, he's engaging in pedophilia. Yeah! Right there. Yeah, 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 yeah. And he, like I said, he contradicts himself. He screams ad hominem. Oh, you're using racial stereotypes. You're anti-Semitic. But then in the same breath, he'll say, "Yeah, we do have a sexual addiction in our culture." My God, who is this clown? Where is the real rabbi? Can somebody page a real rabbi up out of the Torah from around Mecca? Is he going around the wall? Oh, that's the Muslims. Listen, don't know. We need a real rabbi to step up to the plate. It's time for you to take over. I'm telling you, he is losing it and he's making it worse for you guys. Aren't you trying to get sympathy? I don't know why he seems like he's going on a campaign to make people hate y'all. Why? Why is he doing that? Don't I mean like does anybody out there who is of that faith and is of that sect see that he's essentially making a mockery of it? And I don't know why. This is not the time to be making jokes about what you guys are going through. This is not the time to prop up. You guys need a real strong leader. You know what I'm saying? You need a real leader. And I mean, to be honest, if we're talking about who won this debate, it would be Candace. Eh, One thing I want to point out is that Candace did have receipts. Remember, he said that she said all these things on other podcast shows. Well, she had all of those videos. And the snippet that he chose to use to call her all of these ad hominem names, she showed where she didn't say it. He said that she denied the Holocaust. She played the snippet where she didn't say that. He said that she thought that the Nazi were good guys. She showed the clip where she was expounding on what she was saying. And as she astutely conferred to Shmuley, these are all feelings that you have when you're listening to me. It's not what I'm saying. And she said, you're proving it right now. You can barely sit still in your chair. You're screaming and hollering, waving your arms around. You can barely formulate your thought pattern without deflecting back to the Torah for definition, or 1942 uh, defining another war against the one you're currently in, comparing deletions and other wars in comparison to the one you're in now, deletion ratios, that was sickening on both sides. On both sides. The ratio breakdown, that was sickening to listen to. It was disgusting. Let's go to the comments real quick, because I'm telling you, how many comments are there right now under Pierce? People hate him. I'm telling you, even in this comment section, they say they hate the shit out of him. They only come to see the guests, not him. I tell you, it's not about how many followers you got. Baby, you could have millions of followers and they all hate you. I'm telling you. Want to see you crash and burn, which is the only reason why they click subscribe. Hmm. Daily Life Hack says this debate was 50% Candace destroying Smuley and 50% Shmuley destroying Shmuley. Okay, he got 4K upvotes. 4,000 upvotes. Okay? He ain't the only one. I must thank Shmuley, says Diver Pool, for single-handedly ruining Israel's entire PR campaign. 9.7 upvotes. It kills me, says Mary Dara. However, a single time this woman has debated a rabbi, they have never answered a question directly without attacking her. 13K upvotes. Oh, I ain't gotta keep going, do I? I ain't gotta keep going, do I? Do you want me to find one from your sect? Because it's millions of them in here. The Chronix game says it's disturbing to me that this man calls himself a man of faith, let alone a rabbi. 18K upvotes. It's a wrap, baby. It's a wrap. I want to let you know this. Um, she debunked all his theories with videos, not just a mouthpiece. And I think I thought I saw somebody said something. No, I don't know why they have him out here defaming what they're trying to do, because in his haste of trying to be the champion for his race, he's making a mockery of it at the same time. But oh, not to be outdone, he wants to let everyone know that He too has two sons that are fighting in the war. Let me go research that. I'm about to research that. My voice is going out, y'all. I'm about to research that. I'm about to research that. Mm-mm. It's the first time I am hearing him say that. And like I said, he's been on his 3 hour Lord Jamar tour. For him, it's been lasting, what, 20 years. The rabbit hole of the algorithm took me back to when he was talking like this, I don't know, 15 years ago. And I'm thinking to myself, was this when he was Michael Jackson's spiritual advisor during this time period? Because during that time period, he had wrote a book of sexual positions for just for them. Apparently, I don't. He never answers the question head on as to why he is so heavily in Hollywood and this sex scene, but yet and still he wants reverence. Make it make sense. This is what I'm saying about y'all fugazi ass Christians. Y'all phony. Phony, fugazi, and anytime the sinners can see it, y'all damn bad, ain't ya? You damn bad anytime a sinner is putting you in your place, but ain't that what the Bible said was going to happen? I mean, to everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season. Turn, turn, turn. A time to love and a time to hate. Listen, what's done in the dark is going to come out to the light. I mean, look what's happening to TD Jakes. Look what happened to Eddie Long. What y'all got to understand is what I saw with my young eyes all those many years ago. That's why I'm glad I ran away. Is that anytime you have a pastor, a religious leader of any sect, stand up on a crate of milk crates and beat one particular subject into your head, that's what they too struggle currently. If they always talking about LGBTQ, they themselves struggle with that at that time. If they're always talking about drug use, drinking, they themselves are struggling with that at that time in which they are administering the sermon to you. Yeah. But it's important for them to hide and shield their demonic activity from you because having absolute puppet like control over you, your spending, your finances, um, your lifestyle, who you associate with, who you don't associate with, is paramount to their economy. How they live, controlling their flock. Minds is the first thing, just like a pimp. That's why now we see all these pastors stepping down quietly because of some past indiscretion. About 4 or 5 of them we done seen. Not just the big ones. How about the ones that have been long standing in spirituality, in Christianity for decades? It's a new breed coming up in God. I'm telling y'all. And those individuals are going to be real. Those individuals are going to be real. Those are going to be the ones that you're going to be able to see the reality of their life. and it's not going to be a mask or any phoniness associated with it. What was one thing I wanted to say before I ended this? Is that, as I mentioned, as I was younger, I always saw religious leaders as a teensy bit fugazi anyway, because it all seemed like witchcraft and spiritualism to me too. Especially now that I know that a lot of those, in my case, female pastors were bisexual. You know what I mean? They were battling severe mental illness. Um, and they struggled with jealousy and envy, but they had the gift of drawing in broken souls and manipulating women, ostracizing them from their family and husbands, all the while they themselves enjoy the fruits of their flock's labor, and their flock never gets to live the lifestyle that they see their pastor living, and they get used to that, taking care of their pastor better than they take care of their own homes, showing compassion for the ministry more than they show for their own family members that live in their homes Monday through Saturday. I mean, I'm just saying, because Sunday is for Jesus, and it's an all-day affair. You know what I'm saying? So I saw the phoniness way back in the 80s in the crack era, when I saw all of these storefront churches popping up with all of these newfangled appointed female pastors that apparently appointed themselves, because half of them didn't even graduate theologian school. You'll have them tell you that they did, and they took a few courses. Child, anybody can get accredited to teach one of these classes. It's almost like, from what I hear, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I heard years ago, that it's just like being a proxy at a hair salon when you sitting there watching and you take the test right there with the owner. And the owner will send you over down to the board, and then you take the test there and you're in. Hands-on experience. Half of them have not been to theology school. They've been to a couple classes at a big church like Deliverance or something. Hence, you have people popping up like Bishop Lamar Whitehead, aka Bling Bling Pastor, who came straight from jail as an appointed bishop. I don't. When he was in there for fraud. But he came out with a new bag, and all of those lonely, no man having, hating ass women that go to work and start dissension run to a church like that when they see a man. They that desperate. That's why I don't go to black churches no more. Because all the women in there are looking for a convict to marry. I hope y'all know that 99.9% of those men in any church in the urban area come straight from jail to a home plan at the church. Yeah, that's why they always need extra money for the building fund, because they, building, a rooming house for the men that need a home plan and the wife. Good luck. I'm telling you, I've left y'all lying ass niggas behind. God told me he gonna clean up my mouth. I said what I said, though. You phony. I told you that back in 1982. And so here we go, back to the future, where now what I've been saying in our urban communities and spilled out into the whole world. We got these two ad hominems going at it over fugaziness. We know what he is. Look what he got on his face. Come on. Would you feel comfortable going to Sunday service knowing that your pastor got a picture with a dildo on his nose in a room full of underage children simulating sexual acts? Y'all gotta see the video. Listen, this is my take on it. This is Wild Wind Moon 808 with the dollar sign. Listen, I don't care. 10 tones to the concrete, baby. I said what I said. This is just my opinion. I gave bullet points. I wasn't just talking off the top of the dome now on this one. Before I go, I need to know what this spiritual promise is. Maybe I'm just go deep dive into my Bible because Shmuley don't know nothing about that. He don't know where to find a Bible apparently. Y'all gonna watch this? It's crazy.